All right, hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the SAIT Trojans home opener. I'm Simon Chaskovsky, joined by Jack Rosa on the call here. We've got the SAIT Trojans taking on the Red Deer Queens today, and it should be a good one, Jack. SAIT obviously winning the ACAC championship this year. We're talking about the women's teams, to be specific here. What are you expecting out of today?
Probably a hard-fought battle. SAIT have been dominant at home all last year. They haven't lost at home in 706 days. Ironically, the last time they lost was against these Queens team.
Yeah, and you know Red Deer is going to be trying to do that again here. Massive upset chance for them as we see the teams walking in right behind us here. Both of them getting ready to go. SAIT went 11-1 last year. Red Deer going 6-5-1, landing, I believe, second in the North. What are you expecting out of Red Deer specifically here to come out with to try and beat this SAIT team?
I would say probably a hard-fought battle. Try and prove yourselves to be maybe on par with this very dominant Trojans team and make a name for yourself early on in the season.
Yeah, that's going to be super important. A strong start specifically, I think, for Red Deer, as you really have to assert dominance early in this one. Once again, Simon Chaskovsky, Jack Rosa, both the teams getting ready to go behind us. Once again, we'll be right back with you once the game gets back underway here. Make sure to stick around. All right, referees sitting at center here. We're going to see both captains make their way out. We've got a quick huddle before the game actually gets underway here, but we do know who's going to be in between the pipes here to start things. Jack, you want to run us through the goalies?
Well, for the visiting Queens, we got Jenna Leskowicz, and this is her first ever year in the ACAC, so a great way to introduce yourself onto this field. And then for the Trojans, we got Alice Larios, who went 6-0 last year with a .867 save percentage and a .33 goals against.
And she had a spectacular season last year as well. Both of these Trojans goalies did. Obviously, .867 save percentage here in soccer is absolutely incredible. Just a spectacular season for her. And that's not even the most impressive number there. 0.33 goals against average. For all the people like me who aren't necessarily good at math, that's a goal once every 3 games. Which is just remarkable. I'm sure she's going to be trying to match that total with this upcoming season, obviously getting the start here in the home opener here on Cohos Commons Field. It is a very sunny and warm day, as it is currently sitting at a temperature of 27. It's going to hit 30, not a cloud in sight as we get ready for things to get underway here. We're going to see both teams starting to make their way onto the field now. And quite a few upcoming new players for this Trojan squad, including Tiana Payton, Jack, you were telling me before the game how big of an addition she is.
Well, Tiana Payton last year was the second top scorer in goals for this women's soccer, only behind our own SAIT Trojan, Megan Weeb, who was the top goal scorer with 17 goals.
As Red Deer will be starting with it up at center here, that's Alicia Coles. And ladies and gentlemen, with this first whistle, the SAIT Trojan soccer season is underway. Red Deer's going to start with it through the midfield, sending it down the left side here. Stolen by Di Pascal. She'll send it to the other side, gets stolen off of her. Red Deer with it now, making their way down the left. Trying to send a long pass, stumbles on it, sends it backwards instead. Megan Weeb coming back on defense from her striker position to try and interfere. Red Deer pushing backwards now. Back towards their own goal, sending this one back to the first-year Leskowicz. Leskowicz sending this one over to Eric. Red Deer down the right side now. Pushing up is SAIT. Walks into a double team, has to find a teammate, sends a long boot through center, and once again another turnover. Red Deer still maintaining the majority of the possession here. Neither team really able to get anything going quite yet. Sending it down the right side. Another pass here to Marquardt. Leslie with it. Misses the pass, stolen by SAIT, rushing down the left side to Weeb. Scoring leader last year in the ACAC. Broke a few records, now she's back to do it again. SAIT making their way down the right side. Finally with a bit of possession, long pass in front, misses their target as this one goes out the left side, and we're gonna get a whistle, and it looks like this one's gonna be given back to Red Deer.
Red Deer, right off the bat, showing that they can apply pressure. They came out strong, they kept the ball in control, and they worked pretty hard for it, but SAIT had that defense working for them, and now the ball is in Red Deer's court.
And we talked about how important a strong start for this Red Deer squad would be, as we saw plenty of chances or times last season with this SAIT team where they'd score multiple goals in that first 10-minute frame. That's often when they were the strongest. Seeing them able to keep up with the Trojans' pace within the first 2 minutes here is very important. We're going to see this ball sent back out to the midfield after a whistle. Red Deer starting with it. 2:20 gone, not a lot of offense from either squad. SAIT had a chance with a shot that went across the middle there, but didn't quite get much more than that. Red Deer down the left. This one's on the stick of Coles. Coles sends a long pass in deep for Leslie. This one's going to end up back behind the goal, as we'll see a kick there from Larios. Larios over to her defender. This one sent across, finds Eric. As we've got our first ball going into the stands. As we're going to get a throw in here. SAIT with it. Sage Joseph getting the throw in. She's going to send this one right along the line. Weeb with the header up to O'Leary. O'Leary sends a long pass through center. This one sent far. Weeb on the rush with a chance here down the left side. Pushing in, gets by the defender. Misses just barely as SAIT narrowly missed a chance there to go up 1-0. Just 3:30 into the game.
An impressive rush by the SAIT Trojans there. They got the ball to Weeb, who was, again, the top scorer. And she just put the ball just wide of the post, and we could have had a 1-0 game very early.
And you could see why she was the top scorer on a rush like that. Absolutely just pushing by the defender, just not quite able to get the shot where she wanted it. Now Red Deer trying to send this one the other way. So that one goes out of bounds. Remicky throwing it in. Long pass down the left side. This one finds Coles again. Stolen by SAIT as they try to retain possession. Stolen right back by Red Deer. As Penna sends a long pass into the Red Deer zone as they'll have to restart their offense. Marquardt sends this one out of bounds as the ball goes rolling right by us here. And we'll get a throw in for SAIT. Still 0-0, just a touch under 5 minutes gone here. Quite a few offensive chances for SAIT. Red Deer not quite getting those chances, but they've certainly had the pressure. O'Leary sending a pass through center. This one's blocked in front, but there was no one there for SAIT as it rolls right into the hands of Jana Leskowicz. Joseph sending this one over. Goes off the boot of Charlton and into the corner. She's trying to retain possession, and she will. Sends this one into the far corner, but wasn't quite able to get the play to go the way they wanted it to, as we'll see a goal kick for Leskowicz. Leskowicz decides against the long bomb, sends it down the left side instead. Trying to find someone on the wing. So we get a whistle, and it looks like this will be given to SAIT in the offensive zone. So a good opportunity for them to try and set up their offense in the best possible position. This one's headed right back out as we'll get a rewind. SAIT with another throw in. Long one sent for Weeb. She'll walk and create some space for herself, but ends up losing this one on the side as Red Deer sends a long pass. This one sent to Bowman. Bowman sending this one in and right into the hands of Leskowicz. Leskowicz has been fairly busy early here, not necessarily having to stop the ball too much, just getting it passed right back to her by both her teammates and SAIT in a few situations. Charlton sends a long pass here. DePasquale on the left side. This one ends up going off the boot of Red Deer. And it looks like the Red Deer defender wants a push call. And it does not quite look like she'll get it. As we're going to see Megan Weeb heading to the corner here. SAIT with their first corner kick of the season. Had plenty last year. Long pass. Looks for the header. Won't find it. Red Deer now heading the other way. Sending this one through center. Stopped right on the spot. SAIT heading back. Down into the far right corner now. This one's sent in for Follows, who wasn't quite able to get there. And now Red Deer will send it back to their goaltender. Still haven't broken double digits on the time clock there. No goals on the board yet. A few chances from SAIT. Red Deer still looking for their first real one. Trying to break out here. This one on the foot of Maddie Good. Good sends it down the left side, all the way to a midfielder. Cross the center line, but nearly gets turned over. Both teams fighting for it, and it looks like SAIT will get the steal, sending it back in. Down deep for Leskowicz once again. Sending it over to Marquardt. Marquardt sends this one off of the leg of a SAIT defender. So it'll be a throw in for Red Deer. Marquardt is going to get a chance to throw this one in. Decides to send it in. This one goes out of bounds right in front of us, where we're currently sitting here on the soccer field, as we're going to get another throw-in opportunity. Marquardt sends this one a little bit further, and we'll go out of bounds again, as it looks like we'll be getting a third, but this time it'll be the Trojans with the throw-in. Joseph sends a long one to O'Leary. O'Leary to Charlton, but it gets turned over. Red Deer with a long boot down the left side. It'll find its target, if only barely. It's Red Deer making their way around the outside of the offensive zone, pushing down the left. This one's on the boot of Coles has it to DePasquale. Red Deer gets the steal at center now. Marquardt with it once again, sending it over to Kalbfleisch. Kalbfleisch back to Eric once again, to the left side now. They continue to work it around. Remeke has it. Remeke sees a pass down the left side, puts a little bit too much mustard on it. Her teammate gets there anyway. Somehow they keep it in. Has to face some hard pressure though. And it looks like that pressure is going to force this ball right out of bounds as we'll get a Red Deer throw it. Red Deer trying to get something set up. It looks like they'll finally find a little bit of space, but misses on this pass as that's Weeb rushing with through center. Passes it over to O'Leary, wanted it right back, won't get it. Back to Weeb though on the right side here. She'll have to rush for it. Won't be the first one there as Red Deer puts it out of bounds. So we're now 10 minutes gone here. Jack, what have you liked from this Trojans team so far? Obviously a lot of offense, but other than that, what have you liked?
Well, they built up a lot of pressure, and they have some good throw-ins that can go pretty far. But Red Deer, they can surround their Trojans pretty well and take that ball away.
Yeah, I've been super impressed by Red Deer's defense. I think they've done an excellent job there. It's just about extending it through that midfield where SAIT's so deep. That's really tough for them. They've had a really tough time getting through that part of the field. If they can figure that out, I would not be surprised if we start seeing some offense from this Queens team. SAIT with a chance here on the mistake by Red Deer. Rushing down the right, Charlton with a shot as Leskowicz makes her first real save of the night. Or the afternoon, excuse me.
That was a great opportunity by the Trojans. They got a shot on net, but Leskowicz was able to stop that pretty easily.
Yeah, it was definitely not the most athletic dive, that anybody has ever had to make, but it was definitely not an easy save nonetheless. Still had an open net and picked right. Weeb rushing in down the right side. Didn't get a call from the ref that she might have wanted. DePasquale sending it back into her defensive zone. And back to Larios. Joseph pushing down the left side to O'Leary. Up to Charlton. Charlton threads it through, but won't quite find Joseph, as that's going to be a throw-in for SAIT in that far left corner there. Red Deer sending it to Charlton. Spins back with it. Charlton with it once again. This one's sent out. Red Deer just sending out the same spot as we'll get a repeat chance for SAIT. The Trojans have had quite a few offensive throw-ins here. Haven't been able to make too much of it quite yet. Sending it in deep for Weeb, beats the first defender. Rushes through over to Charlton, who threads it through for DePasquale, who sends a long pass in. But that one rejected by Leskowicz.
Again, her first year, and she's making a pretty good name for herself so far. She stopped the ball, and it's been only 13 minutes through, but she's made a name for herself, in my opinion, so far.
Certainly a good start from her, as that's the start you need in a game like this when you're playing a team that, with this SAIT squad that scored so many goals last year per game. I believe the number was 6 on average, which is just a remarkable accomplishment from that 2023-2024 squad. And you're playing a team like that, a strong start is so important from the goaltender, as being able to stop those early ones can definitely get the momentum in your favor. And once you have that, it's just about holding on. Red Deer with it on the sideline, right by the Trojans bench. Sends this in front. SAIT trying to get the steal. It'll end up on the deed of DePasquale. Trying to thread this through as Red Deer gets it right back. Long shot. And Larios will have to make her first of the day, although it was a very easy one. Long boot down the left side here. Joseph rushing up. Wasn't quite able to get there in time. Weeb's going to fight for it. And gets the win. She's now going to try and rush up. Gets knocked down. Joseph with it now, and we'll get a whistle. It looks like the Trojans are going to get a free kick here. They'll send a long bomb down the right side for O'Leary. Put off the head of Red Deer and out the back, it looks like, as we'll be seeing a SAIT corner kick early. Second chance added here. The first one didn't quite go their way. Megan Weeb going to the corner once again. SAIT trying to push in. That's on the foot of Charlton. Sent back outside. This one sent to Penna, who wasn't quite able to get it off. Sending it to the other side. Joseph with a chance. Puts it on goal. But that one just wide right of that post. As another near chance goes awry. As it seemed like she almost waited a little bit too long on that shot, Jack.
Yeah, it looked like she just held on to it for a bit too long. Could work out in some ways, but it did not work this time.
Yeah, as that's a really good opportunity. They just couldn't quite bury it. As we still sit at a score of 0-0, 16 minutes through the first half here. Blocking this one up, facing some pressure from Weeb, sends it right back. Leskowicz finds a defender. Red Deer continuing to try and push this one up. They'll get stuck in the midfield. As pushing up now for SAIT. Gervitz wasn't quite able to stop her. Red Deer with a chance. Larios pushing up. Knocks down the Red Deer striker, and we'll get a whistle on that one as we wait for the call. Certainly an interesting play there as Leslie looks fairly shaken up on that one. And it looks like Red Deer's going to get it right here outside of the box for the Trojans.
Yeah, like you have to think like that's two bodies going full force towards one goal. Stop the goal, get a goal. And it stopped the goal, but Leslie, she looked pretty shaken after that.
Yep, Larios definitely did her job there, but now she's got to do it again in a fairly tough spot, as this could be the best chance we've seen from Red Deer so far. Lundell winding up and firing. This one sent right over the crossbar. The near chance doesn't quite go their way. This one sent wide for Joseph, but she'll get pushed down, and we're going to get a whistle call. It looks like SAIT will get it right back. Long pass, going to get right over the center line. Doesn't quite find the noggin of Weeb as this one gets down the right side now. Cole's rushing for it. Didn't get there in time as the Red Deer captain wasn't quite able to find it on the sideline. Red Deer are going to move their defenders up here and try and make something of their chance fairly deep in the offensive zone of the Trojans. Deep Pasquale's going to put this one out of bounds as we're going to get Red Deer's first real corner kick chance of the game so far. Going to the corner to take it. It's going to be McKenna Leslie. Leslie sends this one in front. It's going to get kicked right back out by SAIT as we'll get another throw-in. Red Deer with a boot down the right side here. The defender's going to send this one high. Weeb trying to go over to grab it. Red Deer still fighting. She'll get knocked down. Sent back up. Trying to thread the needle, won't quite get there. DePasquale sends it right back to a Red Deer striker. She'll get it stolen right off her once again. SAIT with a long boot down the right side. O'Leary. Long pass down the right. Fujimoto sends a long bomb here for Coles, who wasn't quite able to set it up right. Tries to find a teammate on the right side, all alone. Red Deer with a chance right in the box. Shot on goal, and Larios able to stay solid and stop that one.
That was a pretty good opportunity for Red Deer. They had a pretty good area of the net, I should say, for a shot, but Larios was eyeing that ball up, and she made a terrific save.
Yeah, it looked like she knew where that ball was going to end up before it was even put off of the boot, as she was able to stop that one without any hesitation. Weeb wasn't quite able to get possession of it, as now Red Deer's pushing down the left side. Chance for them potentially, gets by the first defender. Only has to beat one. Diving save for Larios, as she's certainly had a few tough ones in the last minute. Red Deer's going to send this one out the side, and Larios is going to get a goal kick. Joseph launches this one up for Weeb. He's just going to send this right into the foot of a Red Deer defender. Pushing through. Gets knocked off her. Joseph with it now. She's trying to hold it in. Red Deer able to beat the first defender. Rushing in. Tries to find someone down the left side, but the pass wasn't quite there. That was Pritchard on the chance.
It almost looks like Red Deer has picked up a level. They've suddenly have a burst of speed and energy that has worked really well for them against the SAIT Trojans women's team.
If the first 10 minutes were won by SAIT, I'd argue that the second 10 minutes, or 10 to 20, were won by Red Deer, who have had a spectacular last little bit, as we have a timeout here. Looks like it was called by SAIT, and a fairly well-timed one as well, as they certainly weren't quite keeping up in the last few minutes there. Still 0-0 though. No goals on the board quite yet. Definitely not too late to turn it around and try and get some more offense like they were getting in the first 10 there. It's 23:05. It's the exact time that's on the clock here. We've got a fairly loaded stands here on the side of the field. Plenty of fans sitting on the grass for this home opener right here on SAIT campus. Always good to see fans come out to support this Trojan squad. As we mentioned in the intro, we've got, this may be the women's game, but we have the men's game coming up after this one as well. We'll have 2 games for you today. As it looks like we're going to get a whistle, and both teams get ready to return to the field of play now. Red Deer with the throw-in to get us back underway right in front of that Trojans bench. This one's pushed in by Lundell. Stolen right back by SAIT. Sending this one over to Di Pasquale, up to Weeb. Weeb down the right. Over to O'Leary, back to Charlton. Charlton with a long boot. Trying to find Follows. She wasn't quite there. As this one goes right into the Red Deer bench as they'll get it back. Pushing up now. That's a long boot, rejected by SAIT right at that center line. Di Pasquale sends a long run here for Weeb, who wasn't quite able to get there as it goes out the side. Red Deer doing an excellent job containing the Trojans' top scorer from last season so far here. This one gets put right back out. And this time it'll be Red Deer throwing her in. SAIT's going to put the press on, trying to hold the zone. Sending this one out to center. Di Pasquale on the chase. Sent to the captain. The captain for Red Deer, sending it down the left. Remeke wasn't quite able to find the teammate. Follows with a long pass, trying to find Weeb. Didn't put quite enough power on it. As now Joseph with it on the left side. Up to Weeb once again. Back across. Follows. Trying to center it for Joseph, who wasn't quite able to get there as we have a whistle. SAIT looked like they were setting up something fairly big there, just weren't quite able to capitalize on the chance. Red Deer trying to push through center here. Nearly turning it over. Stolen by Charlton. Trying to find a teammate. It'll get stolen by Red Deer. Back down the left. Leslie trying to break through center now. As this one's just going to get sent right back out. O'Leary with it now. Centering pass, trying to find Weeb. Able to get the shot off, and the Trojans have their first goal of the season off of the boot of Megan Weeb.
An impressive rush by the Trojans gets their first goal of the season. First goal of the game, and Megan Weeb, top scorer, 17 goals, 46 points from last year, gets us going in this first half of the game.
One heck of a start for her as well, as the Trojans, after plenty of chances, finally break the tie here on Cohos Commons Field. And that's a huge goal too, as Leskowicz has had to make quite a few tough saves, and up to that point, or up to this point even, has been very spectacular. But Weeb was finally able to crack the lock. SAIT with the throw in here. Sending this one through center. Another rush here for Joseph. Pushing up with it, gets the boot off. Leskowicz with the diving save, as that was spectacular. Sent back out to Weeb, gets stolen off of her. And now Red Deer trying to break out. Sent right over to Follows, who sends it out of bounds to give us a second to breathe there, as Leskowicz just had to make the toughest save she's had to make all day.
That was a very impressive save, way down on the right, and she dove, and she just had enough to push that ball away and keep this from going 2-0 Trojans.
And that was a big momentum shifter there for Red Deer, telling this Trojan squad that they're not done yet. This one down the left here. Joseph not able to get there in time as Red Deer is going to get the throw in their own defensive zone. DePasquale able to get the steal. Sends it to Charlton, who sends it in deep for Weeb, who's not quite able to retain possession as it's sent back out. 30 minutes gone here. 1-0 is your score. SAIT Trojans leading over the Red Deer Queens. We've had a very close game early here. Both teams getting plenty of chances. Some spectacular saves from both Alex Larios and Jana Leskowicz, respectively. O'Leary sending this one up for Charlton. Up ahead once again for Grant. Down to the right side. Tries to find Follows, who sends a long pass, but this one back behind the goal as we get ready for another kick from Leskowicz. Red Deer starting their breakout, as we're going to see Kalbflesh looking for some space, ends up finding Weeb instead, but Red Deer is able to steal it right back quick. Follows, long pass, finds Weeb. Trying to find O'Leary on the other side, who wasn't quite there. Charlton once again, trying to send this one further. Joseph running for it, as that one's booted back out by Red Deer. DePasquale tries to flip the field. Red Deer running into that midfield of SAIT. Stolen right there. DePasquale with it, over to O'Leary, sending it to Charlton, tries to find Weeb, but it's turned over. Down the left side. Follows is going to rush for it. This one goes out of bounds, and we'll see a SAIT throw in. This is a shot in by SAIT, but that one not quite able to beat Leskowicz off the boot of O'Leary. And SAIT continues to put on the pressure after that first goal that they had on Leskowicz, which came off the boot of Megan Weeb. DePasquale. Sending this one through center here. He'll try and push her out, but it'll be turned right back over as looks like Red Deer will be getting it. Right in front of the scorer's table there as they try and restart their offense once again. Olivia Lundell going back for the kick. Lundell winds up and fires. Rushing up. It's Red Deer continuing to just try and be patient and find their opportunity down the left. Coles has to rush up to find it. Centers it once again. Red Deer rushing in, tries to find a teammate in the slot, but won't get there. Coles with a long pass in front, and it'll be booted right back out to center. This one's going to be shot all the way back to Leskowicz as Red Deer restarts. Marquardt sending it over to Kalbfleet. Back to Peyton Eric now on the left side. Red Deer not afraid to get their defenders involved. This one's stolen though. Weeb rushing for it. Red Deer's going to quickly rotate it. Just trying to find a way through this midfield. This one's headed back in. Red Deer down the left here. Stopped there by Bowman. Red Deer starting to work along that center line. Through center now. Sent right back. It's the Trojans doing an excellent job defending that midfield, and they'll finally get a steal and a chance to go the other way. Joseph with it now. Has to send a run in for Weeb, who won't be the first one there. There's Red Deer now trying to head the other way on a fast break. This one's on the rush, trying to find the captain. She's all alone. Sends it for a teammate through center. It gets knocked back. Second chance. Long boot. Goes a little bit far that left post. As she was trying to find the top corner, didn't quite find it.
With just 36 minutes past, it's been pretty surprisingly even, I would say, as Red Deer have had some really good opportunities and they've applied pressure, but SAIT got that one goal by Megan Weeb, and this game is building up to be a good one.
And low-scoring games isn't necessarily what we've come to expect from these two squads, as they faced twice last year. SAIT winning both of the matchups with a total goals scored of 9-1. Definitely has not gone the same way here today, as it looks like we'll get a short water break here, as it is very hot here on Cohos Commons Field. I can say that, as we've been sitting here so far for the entire game, and holy, it has certainly been a fun one. Only 8 minutes left here in the first half. It's fair to say that Red Deer is going to want a chance to try and set something up here. At the very least, flip the momentum a little bit and try and get something going that'll allow them to potentially set up a goal. Tie things right up before we head into the second half. SAIT getting it here. Over to Sage Joseph. Joseph sends this one right back. Grant over to Bowman. Long pass here. Finds Weeb. Weeb over across to O'Leary, who sends it down for Follows, who will just barely keep this one inside. Another pass here, trying to find Weeb. Sent high. Joseph trying to push her way in. Ends up waiting too long as the Red Deer defender sends this one right out the side.
Trojans had a really good opportunity there, but Red Deer were on them and making sure that this game doesn't get out of hand before the second half, or before halftime, I should say, begins.
We're going to see a throw in down in that far left corner for SAIT. Deep Pasquale with it. Loaded up for Weeb, who wasn't quite able to hold on to it. Red Deer now trying to break out. It'll get stolen right back. O'Leary trying to send it in for Follows, who wasn't there. Red Deer now down the left side. Just a touch over 5 minutes left here in the first half. Still 1-0 for SAIT, who had a goal, I believe, around the 15-minute mark by Megan Weeb. That broke us out of this tie, or out of the early tie. And we haven't had a goal since. Red Deer with a long pass down the left side. This one's sent far for McKenna Leslie. Leslie with it. Tries to center this one for Kalbfleisch. This one's going to be shot on goal, but wide right, and an easy save there for Alex Larios. Larios is going to boot this one over center. Chance for Weeb, who's able to recover it. Has some help, sending it over to O'Leary. O'Leary tries to find follows down the right side. Didn't quite get there. As both players end up down and the ball goes out the back. Another goal kick here for Red Deer. Long pass through center here. Bowman gets it over to the right side. In front for O'Leary. Over to Weeb. Long shot. Goes wide right there. Didn't quite have enough time to aim it, as it certainly had the power. Just went a little bit right. Red Deer with it now. The Queen's trying to set up something on this left side. Marquardt sending this one far for Van Aragon. Centers it for DePasquale. Centers it for DePasquale once again. Sends a through ball for Weeb. Weeb has to walk through a few defenders now. Tries to find a teammate, but he gets knocked off her. And now Red Deer rushing up. Maybe a chance to counterattack. Rushing down the right side, the Red Deer captain maybe. Centers it. But this one's gonna get knocked right back out, as Red Deer will be getting a corner kick. 43 on the clock for the first half. Plenty of tired players on the field here, as that first half break is sure to feel good with all the sun we're getting here today. Once again, it is nearly 30 degrees here at Cohos Commons Field. Not a cloud in sight, as it is just a beautiful day. As it looks like we're finally about to get back underway. Red Deer with the boot, trying to find someone in front, sent back out for Weeb. Weeb's just gonna blast this one over center, and it'll end up being a throw in just barely over that center line. 1 minute left here in the first half. One's gonna get kicked right over. Weeb. Not quite able to keep that one in. Sending this one over center. Red Deer maybe with one last rush. Sending this one through. Red Deer. Long pass there, trying to find Van Aragon. Didn't quite get there. The Trojans with the steal. And now throwing this one over. We're now in extra time for the first half. Trojans continuing to just work this one through the midfield. DePasquale sends a far one back into the defense as it's launched right out of bounds. Joseph tries to find O'Leary with that one, but she wasn't there in time. Rushing in is Weeb, who wasn't able to get there. It's a near chance for her if she could have beat that defender. Red Deer. Stolen right back by SAIT. The Trojans through center now. Charlton. Down to the corner. Follows with it. Trying to turn the corner. Sent in front for Weeb, and the Trojans go up 2-0.
Impressive little play there by the Trojans. Worked in close, played small passes, and that one little goal puts us up 2-0 right before the halftime mark begins.
Yeah, nothing Jana Leskowicz could have done on that one. Like you mentioned, just a lot of quick, close passes that were able to beat and get by the defender. And once it's that close with a net that big, no soccer goalie could stop that one. As the official call gives that one over to Megan Weeb for her second. Assisted by Amy Follows. Pushing up once again. O'Leary with a push up here. Trying to center it, puts it off a defender's foot and out of bounds. Weeb, long ball here, all the way to Follows on the other side, and it's going to be knocked right over the goal, and that will do it for the first half of play. 45 minutes gone, SAIT Trojans up 2-0 over the Red Deer Queens in what has been a very, very close game so far. Simon Shaskovsky, Jack Rosa on the call for you here today, as we'll get a short break before we get back underway here for the second half. Make sure to stick around.
helpful. Yeah. Plus the -3. Outside the bus.
All right, welcome back. So we're about to get ready for the second half of action here between the SAIT Trojans and the Red Deer Queens, both women's soccer teams for their respective colleges. I'm Simon Chiskovsky here with Jack Rosa. 2-0 is your score after the first half. 2 back-to-back goals there from Megan Weeb, one coming in extra time at the very end there, and one about 20 minutes through the first half. As we'll see Weeb send it right back to D. Pasquale, and the Trojans get underway. This one's going to get quickly stolen. Trojans getting forced back into their own zone. Grant gets it knocked off of her, and we'll get a whistle. Red Deer loads up and fires. This one's headed back out. Second chance. Passing it around the slot. Over to Lundell. Not able to get the shot off. Goes through the legs of a Red Deer midfielder, and now SAIT's heading the other way. This one's on the foot of Follows. Follows. Threads it through. Ends up finding Peyton. The new addition. Tries to get it back to Follows. Wasn't quite there. Di Pasquale sends it backwards, as that's Bowman with it. Centers it. Charlton threads it through center, trying to find Weeb, wasn't there. This one's going to go all the way down the field here, where it's quickly stolen back. Neither team really able to hold long possession quite yet. Di Pasquale sends one through center here. Weeb on the press. And we're going to end up seeing Remeke send this one backwards off the pressure from Vega. This is going to be a long pass here. Di Pasquale trying to keep it in. This one sent all the way back there for Gervitz. Over to Vega. Off the header. Trying to find Peyton through center. Few Trojans right in front there. Follows not quite able to get there in time. Trojans able to keep it in though. Amy Follows. Long shot. That one goes left of the post.
Solid start for the Queens right now in the second half. Obviously trailing 2-0 after the first. They're going to try and look to at least get this goal early on so that they can have at least only one goal down.
Yeah, and that first goal is always super important and a massive momentum shifter. And you know they're looking for it. Red Deer fighting through center, setting this one down the left side for Kalbfleisch. Makes its way all the way to Bowman, where it'll go out of bounds, and the Trojans will get the throw in. This one's put back out. As we're going to see Remeke have to move back up for the throw-in. Knocked back out. And the Trojans will throw it in once more. In for Vega. Rushing up for it is Weeb. Sends a through ball up. Peyton has it. She has speed on the right side. Will she be able to turn the corner, though? She won't quite be able to beat Peyton Eric, who sends it right back out. As that was one of the better chances we've seen out of the Trojans here, early here in the second half. We'll get ready for a corner kick here for the Trojans. This one's going to get sent high. In for deep pass, Squally, who heads it in. 3-0 Trojans.
An absolutely amazing corner kick from Megan Weeb right to Di Pasquale, who headers it in and gets these Trojans team up to 3-0 after just 50 minutes of play.
And that's 5 points on the game here for Megan Weeb after her 2 goals and 1 assist. Just a spectacular start for her. That last goal coming off of the boot of, or excuse me, the noggin, I should say, of Olivia Di Pasquale, the midfielder. This one's pushed back for Larios, who gives it right back. Trojans now trying to push in down that far left side. Vega creating some space, pushing her up. Sends a long ball here, trying to find Follows, who's able to turn the corner. She'll have Peyton and Weeb with her. Follows shot on goal, but that's a great save. Leskowicz. Leskowicz sends a rocket into center here. Turned over. Di Pasquale, the goal scorer, sends a far one for Vega. Back to Charlton. She'll send this one forward for Peyton, who's not quite able to retain possession. Pushing up. Coles, a through ball here. Red Deer with a chance, but that one skillfully stopped by Larios, who didn't have to do too much to get in front of it. Right in front of the Red Deer bench. Red Deer with it. Sends the throw in. Has to turn back. And we're going to get a quick whistle, and the Trojans will get this one. Sends a pass up through center here. Charlton. Sends it to a teammate, but it'll get stolen. And Red Deer now down the left side. Long pass here, as that one's going to be sent over for Kalbfleisch, who has to run for it. Bowman lets it go out the back, and we're going to see a throw in here for Larios, or a goalie kick, excuse me. This one's going to go right out of bounds, just a tad to the side of that Red Deer bench. Queens throw in, finding Lundell. Lundell has to walk by a few defenders. Back up high for Remeke. Remeke. Passing this one in. Red Deer sending it back into their defense to restart it as they were facing some tough pressure. Back down to the corner, but whistled a little bit far of Kalbfleisch. And now the Trojans will get it. 10 minutes gone here in the second half. Only one goal has been scored, and that came off of the head of Olivia Di Pascal. Rushing up. Red Deer down the right. This one's going to just be a soft shot in on Alex Larios. This one's going to get sent into the left corner. Chasing it is Kalbfleisch. Red Deer trying to make it through center now. This one's going to end up going off of Bowman, who blocked the shot, and into the corner, where Red Deer will get another chance to try and send something in on goal. Corner kick's going to end up going over the head of their target and right out the side. And it looks like Red Deer is going to get the chance to throw it in right by their bench. Red Deer pushing up, shoots that one in. It'll get blocked. Back to Remeke. Remeke down to the corner, but it'll get rejected by Vega. Vega has Weeb to her left. Payton a bit further in. Finds Weeb. Weeb back to Vega. Vega has to slow down. Over to Weeb once again. Weeb to Vega on the right, on goal, but that'll be a great save by Leskowicz.
A great push there by the Trojans. They had wide open right field with Vega and Weeb, and they made a good opportunity, but Leskowicz, to her credit, stopped that ball, and it's still 3-0.
And Red Deer did a really good job pushing them down even further into that right corner, which really didn't give them many options when the shot finally did come, as Vega had a fairly tough angle. Still a great save from Leskowicz as well, which is a big part of the stoppage. Di Pasquale sends it in. Payton is just going to send a soft shot in, and that'll be another save for Leskowicz. .58 minutes on the game clock here. 3-0. SAIT Trojans leading here at home. And they have not lost here on this field in 706 days, I believe, if I remember the number that Jack brought up in our intro. Just an incredibly impressive run that they've had here on Cohos Commons Field in the last 2 years. Rocket through center. Runs into the Tough defender for the Trojans, that's Gervitz. Red Deer continuing to work this one around. Long shot! And Larios dives fairly far, but it'll end up just going far of that left post.
An amazing shot by Red Deer there. That ball was going pretty good, but it was just too much power and it would just miss the net.
It's a very near chance there. And we'll see Larios get it right back. It looked like she hit the post as well when she made that dive, and you know that had to hurt. Long bomb here up for Weeb. Tries to head it over to Peyton, who wasn't quite there. Leslie. Through ball for Red Deer. Blocked in front by D. Pasquale. Lundell in trying to find a teammate. It'll get stolen, taken right back by the captain. And SAIT is just going to send a rocket right over center here. And it'll go right out of bounds. Red Deer trying to push in down the left. Bowman doing a good job holding off Coles. SAIT now trying to head the other way. Rush up here for Weeb right along the sideline. Won't be the first one there, though. And this one's going to end up getting put right out of bounds. Trojans ball. 15 minutes gone here in the second half. 3-0 your score. Bowman has it now. Sends a long pass in, trying to find Peyton. It'll go over her head. Charlton now on the press. Peyton's going to get knocked down in front, no call. And now Red Deer down the left. Lundell stopped in the middle. Weeb with it. Sends a through ball. Peyton not able to get there in time. And now a long pass there coming off the boot of Leskowicz. Natalie Gervitz sending it over to D. Pasquale. Bowman to Weeb. To Jack.
Yeah, it came right at me.
Yeah. Good work there, getting your knee up. Able to stop the ball there, not using your hands. Some impressive work.
Thank you.
So this one's going to get put back out of bounds by Red Deer. Or by the Trojans, excuse me. Red Deer's going to get it at center. D. Pasquale with it. Sends it to a teammate, gets it right back. Looks for a long pass, trying to find follows down the left side. Excellent save there by Leskowicz. Vega. Able to get the steal in the offensive zone. Sends this one through, trying to find Peyton, won't get her. Red Deer now. Sending this one through, off a foot. As they try and send a run in. McKenna Leslie chasing it. Bowman on her hip. Sending this one in for the captain, but it wasn't quite there. Red Deer still on the push, and too much mustard on that one. Sends it right out of bounds. And we're going to see Peyton Lowe coming in here for the SAIT Trojans. It'll be her first time on the field this season. Going to the bench will be Nikki Charlton, the veteran Trojans midfielder. Has been on this Trojan squad for a few years now. Pushing up, sending a long pass, trying to find follows, but puts too much on it. And it looks like Leskowicz will be getting a goal kick. As we get back underway, this one's sent through the center. Red Deer with it, back into their own defensive zone. Sends a long pass, stolen by Vega, and taken right back by Lundell. Now Red Deer down the left. Lundell has a defender on her hip. This one gets headed right back out. Peyton trying to send that one through, but wasn't quite able to get it to Wee. Wee with it. Over to Di Pasquale. This one gets deflected, and Red Deer steals it at center. Sends a long pass down the right side, no one home, as it looks like it'll more than likely go right out of bounds, and the Trojans will get a throw in. It looks like we'll be getting another sub here for the Trojans. But first, we'll get a short water break, as we are now 20 minutes gone here in the second half, 66 minutes on the clock here. We'll get a chance for both teams to quickly go over their game plan. 3-0 SAIT Trojans lead. Red Deer with still plenty of chances, just haven't quite been able to beat Alex Larios, who has had to make a few tough saves, but so far has remained solid.
And as today is the official season and home opener for the Trojans, we got some special guests in the crowd. We have some of the Trojans men's hockey team and some of the Trojans women's volleyball team here today.
Plenty of Trojans royalty here. And you know, I thought I saw some women's basketball players as well for the Trojans. I've been recognizing some faces of some other players as well, as there's plenty of Trojans athletes coming out to support each other here on the home opener. Really for the entire athletic season, if you want to look at it like that. As I believe this is the first team to really get their season underway, at least as, or no, I believe cricket. Cricket, I believe, has started as well. So I might be wrong on that one. We're going to see Amy Fallows going off. Allie Nicholson coming in to replace her. And if I am correct, I believe she just signed in the last day. I remember seeing that post on Instagram, I believe, as she is a new Trojan. Yep, that post was from 20 hours ago, the signing of Allie Nicholson for the SAIT Trojans.
And another substitution, Megan Weeb has been subbed off the field. Impressive game for her, 2 goals and an assist in just the first game. Props to her.
Yep, strong start from the Southern Division MVP from last year. This one's going to be a long ball here. Up for Allie Nicholson. Nicholson chasing. turns back, setting this one up. Hamada. Pass won't quite find its target. She'll get it right back. Gets knocked off of her. And now Red Deer's heading the other way. As this will be a long boot here from Larios to get it back out to center. Over to Vega. Vega. This one's going to be touched through. On the rush here. Penna. Not quite able to keep a hold of that one. So it goes out the right side. It looks like we'll be getting another corner kick here. Still very hot here at Cohos Commons Field on SAIT campus. We're up to 29 degrees. My weather app still says we'll get up to 31 as the temperatures continue to rise. We can certainly feel it here. No clouds in sight. Long ball. Trojans trying to set it up on the far left corner. Sends a long pass. Off the head, Vega trying to push up. And we've got a whistle, and we'll wait to see where the ball gets spotted. It looks like the Trojans are going to be getting a kick from right in front here, and a very good chance to try and increase their lead up to 4. You can't really ask for a better spot than that. Right on the edge of the box. It looks like we're going to see. So we wait to see who the kicker ends up being. We'll get underway. Fake kick, DePasquale in on goal. Stopped on the first attempt. Payton centers it in the net, and Hamada makes things 4-0.
I think the referee's whistle blew. That is not going to count, I believe.
Wow. It's disallowed. Huh. Well, that's very interesting, as we're now seeing DePasquale heading to the corner, as the Trojans should be getting a corner kick. There's some sort of infraction there, disallowing the goal. Long boot from DePasquale. This one's sent back out. Gervitz is going to have to go back and get it. Down the left side. In front once again. Low with it. It's going to go out of bounds and right into the training staff of the Trojans.
I want to talk about that last play that was disallowed. I mean, Peyton, it's her first game here with us, and she made an amazing pass for a header, but sadly it just won't count.
Yes, very, very impressive play, as despite not being a goal, it'll certainly be on most highlight reels, as it was fairly impressive to be able to get that pass off, even if the goal ended up being disallowed. Long pass here, finds a Trojan first. DePasquale chasing it. Red Deer working over center now. Down the right side. Fujimoto with it. A through pass to Leslie. Leslie pushing in. Shot on goal, and a diving Larios stops that one.
Red Deer, a very good chance there, and Larios an even better save.
Maybe a chance for the Trojans here off that long kick from Larios. She'll have to turn back before it gets put right back out of bounds, and it'll be a kick in for the Trojans. Trojans down the left side, trying to send this one inward, but I wasn't quite able to find Yuko Hamada, one of the new players to this Trojan squad. She was the one who scored that disallowed goal. So we've got a player down here in the defensive zone for the Trojans. And we're going to get a trainer pulled in here. Down on the field there is Natalie Gervis, one of the new defenders for this Trojan team. She's going to get to her feet here and give a quick thumbs up to the crowd, letting everybody know that she's all right. Very, very good to see. But we will be assumingly getting a sub for her, as she's had a very, very strong first game here as a Trojan, doing a really good job on that outer edge, stopping a lot of attacks. And it looks like we're going to get a short break here while they do some field maintenance to repair the spot that was damaged on that last play. So we're going to be right back with you once the game resumes here. Simon Chaskovsky, Jack Rosa, make sure to stick around. As we're going to get a sub there for Natalie Gervitz. Coming back in the game, that'll be Sage Joseph. And it looks like we're about ready to get back underway here as they quickly solve the problems they were having on the field. Red Deer is going to start with the ball. 78 minutes on the clock here, 12 minutes left. 3-0 is your score after that last disallowed goal. Trojans with the steal on offense. Vega with it down center. Looks for something and blasts this one right of the goal.
I've been very impressed with Vega so far today. She's been making some amazing plays, amazing passes that have set up some amazing plays.
And I believe she's a second-year player. Clearly put in a lot of work in the summer. Had a very good season last year in her own right, but as you pointed out, still a very, very impressive start from her. Coming in, I believe, right at the end of the first half and has played through ever since. This one stopped. Vega with it. A through ball there for Hamada. Sent for Charlton. Sending this one far for Nicholson. Nicholson not quite able to hold on to it. Hamada coming in to help. She'll get knocked down, and we'll get a whistle. Pasquale getting ready to kick this one. This one's going to be put on goal, but wide right. Now over the 80-minute mark, still 3-0. We'll get another goal kick here from Jana Leskowicz. Red Deer now moving through center now. Here. Alicia Coles. Guess this one's stolen off of her. This one across on the left side with it. Will be pushed out of bounds, and it looks like this will be given back to Red Deer. Pasquale with it at center. This one ends up finding low before sending it back down and out of bounds, as we'll get another throw in here, this time for the Trojans. It's a long bomb over center. Doesn't find Peyton. Hamada rushing up down the left side. Chance for Red Deer. Centering it, trying to find their captain. She wasn't there. Down the left side now. Remicky. Ashlyn Grant chasing it, but doesn't have to go too far, as it'll be picked up by Larios. Send a long pass here. A through pass over center. Lau wasn't quite able to find her target. To the other side now. This one's stolen. Peyton. Hamada now on the left side. Ends up getting it knocked off her boot. Tries to stop it from going out of bounds, but it'll be a throw in for Red Deer. Through pass, stopped by Vega. Sent over to D. Pasquale. Sent far here. Joseph chasing it, gets knocked off her boot, centering it. Red Deer with a near chance going just left of Alex Larios' post.
Red Deer's had some really good chances today, but none of them, like the really strong ones, are going either too wide, and if they're not strong enough, it's an easy save for Larios.
I think when you're playing a team like the Trojans, you just don't expect to have that kind of time. So they're having to loose the ball a little bit quicker than they might want to, which is leading to a little bit of inaccuracy on the shot. This one's sent over center. Peyton kicking it back in the air. Heading it into the offensive zone now. This will be a through ball for Hamada going in towards the goaltender before it gets rocketed back out the other side, and the Trojans will get a throw in. This one's going to get sent all the way back for Leskowicz. Now into the final 5 minutes. The finale of this one is quickly approaching. The men's game will go on right afterwards, though, starting at around 2 p.m., depending on the ending of this matchup. We're obviously going to see the SAIT Trojans men's squad taking on the Red Deer Kings. Make sure to stick around for that one, as both me and Jack will remain on the call for you. 86th minute now. This one's set up over to Deepesh Squally. Sent backwards. This will be a through ball. Trying to find Peyton. Gianna Payton not quite able to get there in time. She'll get some help from Vega, and Red Deer has to retreat. Sent over center. Chasing this one deep into the defensive zone. As I'm seeing some umbrellas in the crowd. Not to stop the rain, but to stop the heat. Just trying to stay out of the sun. Chance for Red Deer. Larios shuffling over to the left and making a good save. Long boot here from Larios. Gets right out to center. Remeke. Trojans now trying to keep this one out of their own zone. Long boot over center. Tiana Payton tries to send this one high, gets it right back. This one's sent over. Has Hamada. Won't quite find her. To the other side now. It's called Fleesh. Stop there. Joseph playing some physical defense, and we're going to see a whistle. The 88th minute now. The regular time is quickly approaching its end. I'm sure we'll get a little bit of extra, but we'll have to wait and see how long that ends up here. Red Deer with a chance on the free kick. Sent into the far right corner. Puts it on goal, and it'll hit the side of the net. Larios now getting a goal kick. Long pass down the left side. Allie Nicholson fighting for it. Ends up getting knocked down. And the Red Deer defender ends up feeling that hit a little bit more. She'll be slow to her feet, but she'll get to him. Looks like she's going to be okay. Which is good to see. Seconds are ticking by here in the end of regular time.
Yeah, they just announced that we'll have 3 extra minutes of time added at the end of these 90 minutes of play. So can Red Deer do something with those 3 extra minutes?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think with it being a score of 3-0, one could argue that nothing beside a miracle could potentially lose this for the Trojans, but Red Deer still with enough time to build up a rush here and maybe go into next game with a little bit of momentum. Long pass here. Ends up not finding its target, and Red Deer's goaltender will end up having it. And with that, we are into extra time. Like Jack mentioned, we'll be getting about 3 minutes. Long pass all the way to Remeke. Sends a rocket down the left side. Call, please. A through ball here for the captain. To the other side, but that one's just going to be sent awry by Sage Joseph. Joseph now. She's going to rush up with it. Pass up for Nicholson. Nicholson's going to have to chase it. Leslie not quite able to hold on to it as it goes out of bounds and into that Red Deer bench. As we're going to get a throw in here. Red Deer still with enough time to try and put something together. Back out of bounds. Spinning around on the ball here. Sets it up. Through center. Kicked on goal, and Larios. One more last minute save. This one's just going to end up going out of bounds, and we'll get a Trojans throw in. This one's going to get sent over and go right back out of bounds. And it'll be thrown in by the Trojans once again. Sending this one far for Peyton. Sent over center. Rush here for Red Deer. Putting that one on goal, and Larios continuing to stay strong here in extra time. And that will do it. The Trojans picking up their first win of the season opener, or of the season, excuse me, on the season opener. There we go, we got it. 3-0 as a massive win as Alex Larios gets her first win and shutout in an excellent game for them. Jack, what do you think of that matchup?
Absolutely superb for the Trojans. Again, they're the defending champions. This is them saying to every other team, we're still here, we're still fighting, and we're making another run for the championship.
Absolutely, and they definitely did a good job showing that. As we're going to get players of the game coming up in a little bit here, assumingly. And plenty of options, I think, on both sides. Jack, if I were to throw you on the spot, do you have any picks for the Trojans?
I mean, you have to pick Megan Weeb. 2 goals and an assist. to start off this season, it's an amazing start for her.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's what we've come to expect watching Weeb over the last few years with the Trojans, but nonetheless, still an incredible performance from her, as she's definitely an easy pick. I'd say a few other options. I really thought Alex Larios had a spectacular game in between the pipes for the Trojans. Obviously picking up a shutout, had to make quite a few saves along the way. As we're going to wait and see both teams line up here at center. 20 minutes here before we get back underway with the men's matchup of the day. SAIT Trojans taking on the Red Deer Kings. You can expect that one coming around at around 2 p.m. Although maybe a little bit later than that, actually. Maybe more like 2:15. We had a bit of a late finish to this one. But we'll have that right here on the SAIT Trojans YouTube channel, so make sure to stick around. And if I were to give a pick for the Red Deer squad, I think you got to go with a player like, I think you got to go with Jana Leskowicz. She had a spectacular game in between the pipes as well for Red Deer. And they're going to go another way with it. Alicia Cole's getting it. Spectacular game for her as well, with quite a few offensive chances.
The captain, too.
Captain, too. Very good point, yeah. As the captain for Red Deer gets the first player of the game of the year. Bit of a different direction than what we were expecting, but Bowman had a spectacular game in her own right on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe the defensive side doesn't get recognized as much. It's good to see it get recognized here, as she'll get the first player of the game here in the season opener. So we've got some nice new fancy banners I see for this season. And with that, I'd like to thank you so much for watching from both me and Jack. We had ourselves a spectacular game here, and we're only halfway done here on the afternoon, as both of our men's team here, SAIT Trojans and the Red Deer Kings, will be coming up in just 15 minutes here, so make sure to stick around. Have a good afternoon.